Jurassic. I am making a video that's a little different because covering also a missing chapter that Spinosaurus and most of the other. I'm also believing that maybe that might not also be the case. Like there's another story to it. How about say this? The amalgam testing could have been actually part of the chaos effect. However, the chaos effect itself was a cancelled story arc, but it actually makes more sense than coincidences. Odd coincidences that I've uncovered through other research. So, let's see in the Spinosaurus. True that yes, it's a hybrid, and of course it's has effects that are extremely very unregulated dino-like, which means that obviously it has other inconsistencies along with its DNA, which can easily be explained through the storyline of the chaos effect. Panning over to what I found out on Dr. Wu himself. Now, what is not really exactly known is that, from what most people should be researching on this guy in particular, is that he actually was a major key factor during the story arcs between Jurassic Park 1 to 2. It's already been stated that he actually was part of the cleanup crew in '94 and was wondering what exactly happened to the dinos, and his fascination started going in towards why they were able to change genders so easily. And in '95 he managed to produce a book on the effect of that, which would be this thing here. However, he didn't get a chance to further study this thing because mainly he wasn't exactly part of Engine, or was, well, on leave, I guess, thanks to the incident in '93 on Isla Nublar. Though there is to be stated that he actually does exactly finally get to have this chance by '97, which would be during the here we go, during the San Diego incident. Now, of course, that book was written in '95, only 2 years after the incident in '93. Okay. Slowly, 97 entries on the site slowly overlap, actually. Yes, the storyline itself does, in fact, overlap after what happens here. Right when Engine finally has to give in and file for bankruptcy, have an unfortunate death, and this team here, the Masrani group, they started to buy out exactly what Engine had in its products, including being able to slowly factor in the fact that they felt what Engine had was highly profitable, and was able to rehire Dr. Wu in order to begin creations on some things that are even more eye-catching for them, without even realizing that he had more sinister ulterior motives. Now, ironically, during this arc between the '97 going all the way into 2001, there's a huge 100-day as well as a gap. This gap can easily be filled in by, well, the chaos effect. Now, the chaos effect's original storyline was saying that a group of scientists decided to go back to Isla Sorna and create monsters based on changing the DNA patterns with creating new and horrifying disasters, which coincidentally is exactly what the amalgam testing happens to be. Now, you can't exactly say amalgam can't be this if it's pretty much the same thing regardless. Also, the fact that in this line of work during the chaos effect, you come across things like this creature right here, a raptor that's based on feathers, and it was also combined with the power of, say, a winged bird, which, ironically, when you get to Jurassic Park 3 during the 2001 incident in Sorna, most of the raptors there did have feathers on their backs and heads. Surprising, don't you think? Also, another anomaly that I found in the line was a very, very blue raptor. Reminds you of anything in Jurassic World? Just gonna say that. Also, another thing I've noticed in the chaos effect itself is that other dinosaurs happen to be on the non-exclusive Engine list. the ones that weren't supposed to be there happen to be here, being created during this time, like, say, Ceratosaurus. Oh, yeah. And, of course, even this guy, the Spinosaurus. Now, this also goes into the question of why wasn't he in Isla Sorna at the time? Well, it's very simple. These dinosaurs weren't there because they weren't finally engineered yet. Each one was created during the time gap between 97 going into 2001. And easily to say, this could have also been during the chaos effect. Keep our creatures. Henry realized that, of course, when Dr. Henry, when he realized what he was doing was a disaster in his own right, because he was kind of also bending a little too far, and he realized that these dinosaurs were going way out of his own control, including this one in particular. He decided to eject them from the lab and just keep them in the wilds of Isla Sorna directly, believing that each one would probably die out, even though that might not be entirely the case. But yes, when he released them, each one did cause an eco-balance disaster, which overthrew the island in so many different ways that it's kind of incredible, but also terrifying at the same time, because the dinosaurs that should have been there would be having very, very hard trouble staying alive, thanks to the balance shift when they run rapid. And of course, by then we get to see most of these dinosaurs by the Isla Sorna incident in Jurassic Park 3. However, the reason why we don't see the other animals that were in the chaos effect is a good indication that things like the Velociraptor that had the winged bone things attached to its arms, is a possibility that that dino in particular may have died out when we bended the genetic code. Sometimes when you bend a code too much for DNA, it could collapse or probably even deteriorate on itself, and that's probably what happened to most of the other dinosaurs in particular. These are just the ones that managed to survive the testing. However, also this to say that the chaos theory, or chaos effect, is probably the missing piece of the puzzle as to how these were created, as well as how they managed to even exist alone through the research, the missing research in the story arc, which of course was granted by the Dino Protection Group when they were looking through old files, and obviously they misplaced this one in particular, or didn't make, or like most, failed to see the connection there, that Wu obviously had more sinister past that he was planning to never tell, including the fact that he managed to dodge the Gene Guard Act, which is now in full effect. Though, for those that will consider this part, whether they want to believe it's canon or not, or whether the effect, or chaos effect itself, could in fact actually really be truly a part of what's going on now, falling into Fallen Kingdom, I would definitely love to hear everyone else's opinions. This, however, is just my theory. And for now, this is Sunset Horror and Link signing off.